हरिः कन्ना।
So, as we have seen just now, what is population in market research? I just want to extend it more before we move on to what is a sample in market research. In research, a population refers to the entire group of individuals or objects that share a common characteristics or attribute that the researcher is interested in studying. So, this characteristic or attribute is typically known as the population parameter, which is a specific variable of interest that the researcher wants to measure. For example, if a researcher is interested in studying the average height of adults uh, in a particular city, so then the population would be all adults living in that city. If the researcher is interested in studying the percentage of college students who own a car, then the population would be all college students. So here two things are important. One, the entity, and second one, all this entity should possess a characteristic or attribute in common. So then the population can make out. Okay. So let's take one more example. So it's important to note that the population is the entire group that the researcher is interested in studying, but it's often impossible or impractical to study the entire population due to logistical or financial constraints. Therefore, researchers usually select a smaller subset of population to study, which is known as a sample. So the sample is typically selected using a random or systematic sampling method. So we will be looking into the sampling methods in our forthcoming slides. So the sample is so which allows the researcher to make inferences about the population based on the characteristics of the sample. So in market research, if you go as per the definition, a sample is a smaller part of the whole, that's a subset of the entire population. So it represents it's the representative of the population in a study. When conducting surveys, the sample is the members of the population who are invited to participate in the survey. Hence said, a sample is a subgroup or subset within the population. This sample can be studied to investigate the characteristics or behavior of the entire population data. So data samples are created using various research methods like probability sampling and non-probability sampling. Sampling methods vary according to research types based on the kind of inquiry and the quality of information required. Example, a cat food company would like to know all the pet stores where it can sell its canned fish. The company has a population data on the total number of pet stores on Sunset Boulevard. So this pet food manufacturer can now create an online research sample by only selecting the pet stores that sell cat food. The data characteristics are studied, the results are displayed in statistics and reports analyzed for business insights. So, using data from the sample, the company can uncover ways to grow its business into the total population of pet stores. So, samples are specifically used in market research to estimate the characteristics and opinions of target population and to make inferences about the population as a whole. A well designed sample should be representative of the target population in terms of demographics, behaviors, attitudes, and other relevant variables. The sample should also be large enough to provide sufficient statistical power to detect meaningful differences and trends. So there are different sampling methods. So these sampling methods will be discussing in our forthcoming slides. For now, so this is what the main major difference between a population and then a sample. So a population consists of a number of elements or entities which possess a similar kind of attributes or characteristics. We call it as a parameters because it's a population. When it comes to a sample is a smaller part of the whole, that is a subset of the entire population, and it's a representative of the population in a study.